Hello, everyone. I'm Juanica, also known as Miss Astrology, doing something a little different today. Just trying to bring you guys the very best in knowledge and really get you informed when it comes to astrology. And this video in particular is going to talk about the upcoming Mercury retrograde. Well, actually, today's Sunday, January 31st, so we're already in the retrograde, Mercury's retrograde. But I this video will discuss further what to expect, and I'm doing something different because I really want to share the chart with you. So I want to share my screen and mark up the chart and really kind of teach in the way that I like to teach. And I hope this will encourage you to learn more of your astrology. I hope this will help everything make sense. Yeah, so let me share my screen. And I am sharing with you the chart of the moment. And so I do like to draw on my screens. One thing that you'll probably notice is that I do not have any aspect lines on my charts. And this is because intuitively, I like to be drawn to the aspects. I like to write all over the screen, so that can make it a little bit messy. And I do look at numbers that really draw my attention when I'm looking at the chart. But so that's why I do not use aspect lines when interpreting my charts, if you've ever had a session with me. And so, okay, well, let's just go right into it. Um, this is really about Mercury retrograding, and not just Mercury retrograding, but all of this Aquarius energy that we are dealing with. And with Mercury's retrograde, this is really about an opportunity to be reflective and to really think about. I always say when Mercury goes retrograde, this is us thinking about what we think about. And so, because Mercury is the planet of communications, it's our thoughts. And when you think about it, it is the planet that is closest to the sun, which we are the sun, right? Like, that's like when you ask someone what's your sign, they're just so happy, and everybody always thinks they have the best sign because that's your sun. And Mercury is the planet that travels closest to our sun in the same way that our thoughts um, travel very close to us. It is the closest thing to us are our thoughts, right? And so Mercury is our thought processes, our communication, how we receive and perceive information, how we communicate information. It is just constantly going. It's such a fast moving planet. The only planet faster is the moon, which is a luminary, but we include it in astrology, of course. And so the universe gives us an opportunity every 88 days to think about what we've been thinking about for the last 88 days. We're giving 3 weeks to reflect, readjust, reorganize, refocus, relax, read, just all of the REs. I always say the retrogrades are about the REs. It's an opportunity to, readjust some things. And because Mercury, of course, is always so close to the sun is involved. We also have Jupiter, Saturn, and then Venus will be joining the gang this week. And this is all these planets will be here for all of Aquarius season. So you really have to look and understand Aquarius energy. And this is very important. This is very imperative to where we are going as a society. We really have to be more focused on the collective. We have to be finding our tribes, finding our gifts for our tribes, finding where we have common interest and goals, and people that we can establish our hopes and our dreams for the future. These are all Aquarius's keywords. And when you think about Aquarius energy, you have to think about Aquarius being the sign whose keyword is I know. So this is about the knowledge that you have and the gifts that are inside of you, and really how you are going to contribute those things to the collective. The reason that I say the gifts and the knowledge on top of that is because we have to remember that we have Saturn and Jupiter involved. These are both very wise social planets. Jupiter is very much wisdom, luck, opportunity, gifts, good fortune. It's also, though, I love that people like to be so excited about Jupiter being considered a blessing planet, which, yes, that makes sense. However, Jupiter will exaggerate and overdo anything. And so you don't necessarily want to think of just as a blessing planet. It will, but it will also overdo it. And so it's like maybe you need to reflect on some of your thoughts and some of this, making sure you're not being excessive, overly optimistic, restless, or reckless, even. These are Jupiter's, expansive, like over the top side. I don't really want to say it's like its dark side, because I feel like the dark side comes more with the sign than the planet, because planets are energy and they are neither good or bad. It is how the sign works that out. And so with it being an Aquarius, Aquarius is a good aspect. Jupiter rules Sagittarius. And so with it being an Aquarius, this is a sextile. So this is a friendly sign. Fire and air get along brilliantly. So Jupiter here does want to bring a lot of something, gifts, blessings, something. And right now with Mercury retrograding, we really need to reflect on, are we overdoing it? Are we being excessive in any part of our life? Can we, readjust in some ways that are the discipline that Saturn is going to hold on to once Mercury, the Sun, Jupiter, and Venus, which is joining later, all of those planets are going to move on because they're personal, faster moving planets. Those planets, the Sun, well, Mercury stays close to the Sun, Venus stays pretty close to the Sun, and Jupiter is, only in a sign for a year. And so those planets are moving on, and Saturn's still going to be there. And Saturn is there like, okay, you had time to reflect when you got that Mercury retrograde on the things that bring you joy. And this is the Sun. The Sun is your ego. The Sun is your pride. It's your life force. So this is you really tapping into that, your life force. And with Jupiter involved, your life force is also, and Jupiter and the Sun love each other. This is like Aries, Sagittarius energy. I'm sorry, Leo, Sagittarius energy. So they love each other. And so this is like, okay, what really brings you joy? What do you really feel, are your gifts that you can be optimistic and hopeful about? This is Jupiter's optimistic and hopeful is Jupiter energy. What can you be optimistic and hopeful about? What can you be excited about? And where do you need to readjust and refocus in those areas? Where do you need to, realign in some things in those areas? And then it's also about, remember, these gifts belong to humanity as well. This is about balancing out. We had that Leo full moon that already told us that, we need to get rid of the things that aren't bringing us joy, that aren't making us excited, that aren't driving that Sun energy, that are more emotionally driven. We need to get back to the Sun energy. However, with all of this going on in Aquarius, and will be going on in Aquarius for a while, we have to know that this energy, this excitement, these opportunities, this luck, this goodness that's coming is more for the collective. It's more for the tribe. It's more for our community, and it's more hope driven, and it's innovative. This is Aquarius energy, and it's forward thinking, and it can be rebellious. And this is where we really want to pay attention, because we see right now Mars is at 12 degrees of Taurus, and it's still conjunct Uranus. And guess what? The Sun, all of this is happening in a pretty close, first of all, it's a square. This is tension as it is. And then not only that, it's Saturn, Mars and Uranus are doing their own thing. they're working out their own thing. And then that tense energy from Mars bringing this disruption, like fueling this disruption, the disruption to the financial system, and wanting the collective, the tribe, the community to, Uranus is here for everybody to get a chance, everybody to get an opportunity. And so, and Uranus rules Aquarius. And so this tension here is really Uranus driven. So it's really independent driven. It's really innovative, forward thinking, and hopes in humanity for the collective with this Aquarius energy. And so this is really about, watching what's happening and knowing whatever it is that you're taking from this, that you're processing through this, don't get disruptive, don't get frustrated, expect some disruptions. So because Uranus is a slow moving planet, it's generational, so it's going to disrupt some things until Mars gets on, you know, out of the way in a few weeks. We still have I want to say 2 more weeks of Mars energy, Mars Uranus conjunction energy. It just needs to, once that happens, but then that's still, Uranus is still bringing its own independence, innovation, disruption, these kind of things. And so this is about us really reflecting and not getting disrupted, not being too, rebellious, not in a forceful way with Mars involved. And the reason we don't want to be forceful, because remember, Mars is going to move on, and then then Mercury, the Sun, and Jupiter are going to move on, and Saturn is still going to be here in Aquarius, still teaching us lessons, still requiring us to be limited. Saturn is at home in Aquarius. And so this energy is, governs still. And there's still going to be discipline. There's still going to be limits. There's going to be these boundaries that are put upon us. There's these areas where we're told no, what we can't do. The information is going to be limited to us. I think, and people are going to want to, rebel with this being Aquarius energy, but we shouldn't. Instead of rebellion, the best way to rebel is to get tribe focused, is to get community focused, is to get innovative, and to get very forward thinking for your and with your tribe and your collective, bringing forth your gifts, your abilities, whatever it is that you do. I always tell people, everybody has a different gift. All 12 signs are in the chart for a reason. We need everybody's gifts. And with Taurus, with this Taurus energy, this is new ways to make money, new ways to invest money, innovative systems, forward thinking, security, and land even. And so this is like getting with your tribe so that you can figure this out and be the change, be the innovation. Uranus is innovation and change. And so I think that's what this message is. And this is the energy that we're going to be dealing with and really need to focus on while we're in Mercury's retrograde and all of this. Now, Venus is going to join the show in Aquarius along with this lesson. But the good thing about Venus being here for these next few weeks is that it's going to feel good. Venus is a feel-good planet. She also rules Libra, so she doesn't mind being in an air sign. So this could be a good time to find your tribe and to connect with and to find balance and value and harmony. These are all Venus key words. So making sure I know that we're socially distancing and that, we're on lockdown in a sense, but, find a way to connect with your people. Do it on Zoom. For me, this makes sense with all of this happening in my midheaven, because I have an Aquarius midheaven, that I would bring this lesson in astrology in a different format this time, doing it via Zoom and sharing my screen. This is me being innovative. This is being more forward thinking. I'm a Sagittarius, so I'm being more forward thinking how I can teach my tribe. I know that's my gift for the tribe. And so this could be tense if we don't use the energy in a positive way. The planets bring us these energies that we have to harness. We have to get in a positive way, really use the highest part of this. So I'm going to go ahead and write some numbers in here, and so I can give you, and hopefully this helps you understand how you do the kind of like predictions. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and talk into the individual signs. And I'm going to start, I put a number 1 with Aquarius, and I'm starting with Aquarius because all this energy is happening in Aquarius. And so this really makes me this is how I'm going to do my videos. I will start where most of this energy is, playing out. And so Aquarius, if you are Aquarius, sun, moon, or rising, now you always want to listen. My astrology in my predictions and my forecast for, the week ahead. And for this is going to be really, this is more geared towards this Mercury retrograde. I'll bring more for the week ahead. But this video is going to be more for, how we should deal with really Aquarius season and Mercury retrograde, which is, 3 more weeks. So during that time. So Aquarius, this energy is happening in your first house. If you're an Aquarius rising, that's what I was saying, excuse me. So if you're an Aquarius rising, this is going to be the most accurate. This is how I do my predictions and my readings. If you're Aquarius sun, this will very much play out too, specifically because it's Aquarius season right now. If you're an Aquarius moon, this is something that a lot of what I'm saying can very well pertain to you as well. However, it'll be more internal and you'll probably need to reflect on it a little bit more in order to really see that. And so, listen for your sun, moon, or rising. But with you looking at the chart right now, if you hear me say a placement, say for instance, you have an Aries moon, and I say this is playing out Aries in your third house, this is talking to the moon aspect, and you're able to maybe tune in a little bit more or that way. So I hope this helps. So Aquarius, this is happening in your first house. This is a lot of energy, Aquarius. This is really a time for you to just decide how you're going to establish yourself within the collective. What are you bringing, Aquarius? And it's really a good time for you guys to shine. A lot of opportunity here with Jupiter involved. But again, this conjunction here that's happening from Taurus, in Taurus can be a lot, and so could be some extra stress, some extra tension, some changes, some sudden changes, but really stay disciplined through this, Aquarius, because Saturn is here. Saturn is going to be here for a couple of years, so you really want to settle into the lessons right away so that they don't whoop your butt for 2 years, so you can start to grow and mature from them. So really right now, this is a time to reflect. This is a time to rethink. You can definitely look for some people from the past showing up, and maybe it's a good thing. Jupiter's here, so maybe they're coming with a blessing. Just really think about it. Don't brush anything off, I would say. And just remember what brings you joy, what brings you pride. Venus is here. So yeah, I do feel like you're going to really see a relationship, or somebody from the past is going to come back that you may bump into or find in a Facebook group or on the internet or something like that. So that could be interesting and fun. And at the same time, it could be a good thing with Jupiter involved. But stay disciplined, stay focused on the goals, because you guys are going to be dealing with the lesson for again the next 2 years. There are going to be some opportunities with Jupiter, but really be reflective. I wouldn't make any contractual decisions right now, really any big commitments right now. Just think about it, because Mercury is retrograde. Really reflect. Don't make any commitments, but just kind of make some decisions and some adjustments where needed. This could be good. The tension is there. The North Node is involved. And that's making a trine to Aquarius energy. So you really could see some good things happening. But definitely want to stay focused and disciplined, Aquarius. So yeah. Pisces, this is happening in your second house. This is a money house, a work house. I think that you could be good, Pisces. I don't think mutable signs are dealing with too much negative energy this year. This is more for the fixed signs that I do think are going to have a little bit more to learn over the next couple of years, a lot, and some more blessing and opportunity. So Pisces, Neptune is getting ready to go back direct. So Neptune is direct at this point. So now you're really seeing that you can really make some money. You can do some things, but right now, maybe you need to review some materials. You need to reorganize business. We need to focus on work while Mercury is retrograde. This is a really good time to redo, rethink, reflect, pull out some old work ideas. I think some work aspirations and inspiration, I think, would feel really good for you. And that's something that you should tap into right now. With this being in your second house, that's the money you make from the work that you do. So it's time to get back to work, Pisces. I feel like you haven't been working, and now is a good time to get on that. Okay. Aries rising. This is happening in your third house of communication, of information. So this is a Mercury ruled house. Gemini actually rules the third house. Chiron is involved. Now, this is a sextile from this Mercury energy. Mercury and Chiron, but I don't think that Chiron being involved, I don't think Chiron being involved, Aries, is um going to be a bad thing. Now, if you do look though, Chiron at this point is 5 degrees right along with Saturn. This is really about learning these lessons. Chiron is the wounded healer in the astrology. And so this is, and you've been dealing with Chiron, and then you had Mars all of last year. And so there were some triggers, there were some things that just have been coming up for you, Aries. And it's like, you need to deal with it. Like now is you're really learning from it, with Saturn being this is a sextile, so this isn't necessarily bad energy. This is growth. This is discipline and an opportunity for you to master this pain, this healing, this overcoming. And so it's really important, I think, for you to, and Jupiter is involved. It's a pretty tight aspect as well, because Jupiter is at 10 degrees. And so that's, a good thing. So this could be a blessing, but Jupiter is involved. So this could be you just really going overboard still with it, and not learning the lesson that Saturn having to squeeze in a little bit tighter. And so really reflect on that while Mercury is retrograde. I think that is something where you'll get like some revelation. I think you're going to have to make a point to reflect on it and maybe even communicate, because Mercury is not making an exact aspect to Chiron. It's just making like a sextile by sign, but in the sign it's in, it's still a sextile. So this is still a good time for you to reflect, rethink some things, and even rest your mind, even from all this processing that you've been doing. Just, chill out some. So I think Aries is going to have a really good year once we get into Aries season. I do think once in the spring. So it's just like, just continuing to work these things out. And another thing I do want to say, that I know that a lot of us started off with a lot of energy with Mars being in Aries, and now Mars is in Taurus, and maybe we're feeling ourselves not so energetic and not so ready to really, yes. And that's because Taurus can be a stubborn sign and a lazy sign. And so this is really makes us like more want to work on a very practical level, like maybe a very, oh yeah, let me do this data entry, let me do this, but not actually with the actual fire and gusto that we had in Aries. But when Aries season get here, we'll feel better. When the sun gets into Aries, and then we'll still get some sextiles going on from Jupiter in Aquarius. So we'll feel better then. So Aries, just continue to, reflect and reprocess and rethink about those things. I think, you're headed into a really good area, and, really good territory coming up with the spring. Okay, Taurus and Taurus rising, or sun, moon, and rising. This is happening in your 4th house. This is home. This is your foundations, your roots. This is who you are. I always say, the moon or the 4th house is where you, who you are after you've finished your day of working outside of the home, errands, being around people, being on for people, doing, productive activity. And then you come home and you take off your bra, you take off your shoes. This is who you are in your 4th house, or this is your moon even. And Taurus likes the 4th house. The moon is exalted in Taurus. And so this could really be, though, some changes at home or on the home front. And maybe even you're finding yourself a change of energy at home, and just really, or maybe even some unsettled energy that you're not necessarily like knowing how to really process, with it being Uranus maybe causing some disruptions. With it being in the 4th house, this is going to be stuff that's happening at home or with home. Maybe even the mother is involved, or children are involved, where you're finding, a lot of change. This can also be a very spiritual thing. I do think the 4th house is spiritual. It's the moon, it's, Cancer, water. So I do give all the water houses, those kind of emotional, watery things. And so this could be an emotional attachment to home, an emotional change. And this energy from Aquarius is a square. And so this may be making it more difficult for you. And so what I would say is, make sure you got all the information. If you don't have to make any changes right now, any commitments, I wouldn't, but I would prepare for it, because Uranus is involved if you haven't already dealt with this kind of disruptive energy. So it's like, reflect on it, keep it together. It's like, this could be a good thing, this could be good. Also, Taurus and the fourth house is food. So maybe, you're finding yourself going through some changes with what you eat and where you're even maybe getting your food or that kind of thing. So yeah, Taurus is a sign of finances and money. So this is like maybe you're like reallocating or finding, like you want to make changes in the money that you're spending on your food or maybe on home because of the fourth house would be home. And so this is not easy for you though, with these aspects that you're feeling from the square in Aquarius. And this is an aspect specifically with Uranus. Look at that. Saturn and Uranus are pretty much exact tension right there. Uranus is 6 degrees, Saturn is 5 degrees. And so you really trying to keep it together and kind of need to really work on keeping it together. I think with Venus getting involved, you may really be thinking about your money, thinking about your finances, and even thinking about your friendships, your friend groups. And maybe that's where you need to lean on a little bit is more of your friend groups, or maybe the opposite is true, which I think you do need to lean more on your friend groups and just kind of talking to them. I hope that makes sense. That's the only thing about not doing this live, these videos like this where I do these predictions. I don't get to see any thumbs up, but you guys will leave some comments, I'm sure. Yeah, so I think that's where I'm gonna leave it for Taurus energy. I think Taurus, I feel like Taurus is the sign that could probably use personal readings right now and personal sessions, just because the tension is kind of a lot. And this is what, and it has to do with your home, and Taurus is a fixed sign, so they don't like changes. And so this is like, you're going to have to really see how to get through this. More of your chart needs to come into play, your personal chart, and where these aspects are, happening for you. Where, do you have a Saturn aspect involved or Jupiter involved, something like that in your own chart. So study your chart, get to know your chart better, get to know your aspects, look at your chart with aspects on it and go from there. Okay. Gemini, sun, moon, or rising. I actually think Gemini is doing good. I think Gemini, oh gosh, wait a minute. Okay, Gemini and Gemini rising. This is happening in your fifth house. So I think Gemini is doing good, quite honestly. Again, the mutable signs, I don't think the mutable signs are doing too bad. Gemini's doing good because, you guys have the North Node there. And so this is a really good time. And then Aquarius, all this Aquarius energy is a sextile. Like that pours a positive energy into Gemini. And so this is like, listen, you do probably need to reflect on some things right now. You probably need to reflect on some family life with this being in the fifth house, making sure you're having fun, Gemini. This is a good time to have fun. If you can take a trip, if you can travel, that would be good. I know we're on lockdown. If you can explore something fun, and I think this would be good for you. And that you would really enjoy it in the fifth house, and just being curious, because Gemini is a very curious sign. And so I think this will be, really good for you. Express yourself, be curious, have fun during this retrograde, kind of take a break. But I honestly think Gemini is having a good time. Mercury is involved. And so with Mercury being in an air sign, and Mercury rules Gemini, this isn't so bad. And so I think, just making sure no contracts, no long-term commitments. If you do decide to travel, make sure you give yourself plenty of time. If you decide to learn something, it feels more like relearning something because Mercury is retrograde. So just review some old information that you already have. Just go through some things. I think you'll find it strikes up a new curiosity or gives you something to explore, or highlights with the North Node being involved, something that, is good to you and feels good to you. So yeah, I think this is good energy for Gemini, and you guys, stay disciplined, stay focused in the areas that you can. Gemini, I know energy, staying focused is not the easiest for you. You like variety, and variety is very important for Gemini. So make sure you get that variety, but at the same time, have that discipline and that balance. Venus involved, I think, is gonna have you really enjoying, again, like I said, just reviewing old material maybe that you um With Venus involved, this could bring back some old relationships. This could have you rekindling some old friendships, maybe a family member you haven't seen in a while, with it being in the fifth house shows up. So I would just enjoy it. Of course, Saturn's involved, making a trine to your Gemini energy. So you probably do want to, make sure you keep your disciplines in place where you can, but look for a blessing from Jupiter. Jupiter is going to make an actual complete aspect, within the next few months to the North Node. As the North Node moves backwards, it's actually moving this way. So when that happens, I think that'll be really good energy as well. So I think Gemini is doing well overall. So yeah. Okay, Cancer, this is happening in your sixth house. It's the health and wellness house. This is Virgo's actual house. So this is for Cancer. This isn't necessarily a difficult aspect. This isn't the easiest aspect either. This Mercury retrograde, all of this energy happening in Aquarius. And then Cancer may still be dealing with the square that they're feeling from Chiron and Aries. But I really think that Cancer, with this being the sixth house of health and wellness, as well as service to other people, this is about your health. This is about working out, working on your body, maybe some meal prepping, some meal planning, switching up, reflecting on your diet, even reflecting on what you cook and what you're putting into your body, with Mercury being involved, this being in your sixth house. And Mercury's okay with the sixth house, and because it's Virgo's house. And so, yeah, this is a good time to kind of meal prep, rethink your meals, rethink, how you're taking care of your body, and maybe even get involved with another group where you guys can kind of, share. Maybe there's some kind of challenge going on that you can be a part of. Cancer is always up for a challenge. So somewhere where you can, maybe share your success and your goals, and get poured into from other people, because it's Aquarius energy, which is groups. So I would encourage Cancer energy to just look into their health and wellness and their body, and joining a group to do that would probably be the best way to really, in this energy, or at least right now, research it. Don't make any long-term commitments. Don't make any, long-term plans right now. Maybe just do some research and decide how you want to approach moving forward. With Jupiter being in your sixth house for the next, few months, or really year, this could be good for you to, really find some opportunity in fortune in workout routines and how you take care of your body, routines in general. So, but you got to be disciplined with it because Saturn is involved. And Saturn was really, stressing y'all out last year. And so it's like, okay, I got it now. So I think you'll be okay though. I think everybody will be okay. Of course I do. I'm a heavy Sagittarius energy. So of course I'm going to say that. But I think that, this is a really good energy to just really kind of reflect and decide, okay, no, this is how I'm going to take care of my body. Okay, Leo and Leo rising, or sun, moon, or rising, this is happening in your seventh house of relationships. I do think because this is an opposition, right across the sky, this is happening. Leo opposes Aquarius. And so that's a real opposition to all this energy that's happening in Aquarius, or right across the sky from Leo. So Leo, this is really about balancing relationships. In your seventh house of relationships, you may have people from the past coming back around, for sure, and really reflect on that. Is that really what you want? This may be an opportunity for something good with Jupiter there. But I know that Leo likes things the way they've always been. It's a fixed sign. And so sometimes that blast from the past feels good, because this is able to put you back in this fixed comfort zone. But this is like, really, like, are you sure? Is this really what you want to do? So this is really just being reflective of that, really thinking about it, making sure, or just seeing the opportunity in it, the luck in it. I do think that Leo is dealing with some relationship lessons for the next couple of years, some opportunities to have relationships, but also some opportunities to really show that they can balance relationships. Leo rules the sun, so it can be a lot about ego, and it's really about balancing, what you receive and what you get in a relationship, with it being in the seventh house, as well as Leo making sure that you're getting that celebration that you need. If you're in a relationship, you guys just had your full moon. And so it's really about, if you're in a relationship, is it bringing you that joy? Do you feel royal? Are you having fun? Do you feel even giddy and childlike, and allowing yourself the opportunity to play? And if these are relationships that are not cultivating that in your life, Leo, this is really a time to really learn how to have those disciplines, put those walls up, mature and grow past it and outside of it. And also an opportunity for those with Venus involved, with Venus making its way into Aquarius, this could be good, honestly, for relationships. It's just making sure that you're feeling good about it. It's feeling balanced and fair. And this also is feeling like an opportunity to grow. With Saturn involved, you always want to look for the opportunity to grow and to mature and to be disciplined and to like where the lesson is. Like, okay, where's the lesson in this? I'm looking for it, Saturn, because I want to be aware and, you know, cultivate my own growth, not get knocked over the head and forced into it. So this could be good, Leo. Just reflect. No commitments, of course. No contracts. This is in your seventh house of contracts. So none of that. Like, yeah, just making, like, just being reflective. And, you know, don't take anything personal. That's another thing with Mercury. This is about not taking words personal, not, you know, taking everything to heart. Leo rules the heart. So not getting upset, not taking things to heart. If that feels out of character for somebody to say something like that, then maybe, you know, you need to check that you're not perceiving it wrong. This is, you know, that kind of energy. So Virgo, or Virgo rising as well. Again, another mutable sign. This is in your eighth house. So I think it's good. You may have an ex come back, somebody that is interested in sex, or this could maybe even be the opportunity for some pretty decent sex, if you ask me. And I say that because with Mars making a trine, Mars is an earth sign making a trine. This could also be disruptive as well. The eighth house is a money house also, not just a sex house. It just felt like that just dropped, like just came out of nowhere. But it's also a money house, joint resources, other people's money, investing. For me, it's an investing house, because you are investing with the company, which is other people's money, other people's assets. So this could be a good opportunity for you to take. Virgo's always paying attention. So this could be good for you, Virgo. I think Virgo's fine. I think they're having good energy. Also with the retrograde, double check any information. Double check, like if you decide you're going to set a trade, you see something that you like, double check that it's set, and that your limits are right. I feel like, you know, with Taurus involved, it's like, you know, you might be moving too fast, and, you know, especially because Virgo can be so all over the place. It's mutable and it's Mercury. And so it's like making sure that you're not moving too fast and missing something, and missing like the opportunity to tap into joint resources, to tap into some kind of financial thing. Also looking for some kind of credit opportunity, or like that kind of thing could be good. But I wouldn't go into any kind of contracts. I wouldn't sign any contracts right now, or any commitments. I feel like you're not getting all the information. Just reflect, think about it, and see if this is really something that you even need. Also with partnerships and those sexual relationships, again, this is about reflecting, making sure if this is something that you really want to tap into. This could be something fun, but this could also be something that like causes some kind of change, or brings some kind of disruptive change into your life. And so it's like, just really reflect on that as well, and stay steady. You know, this with Saturn involved, and even though it's not making any kind of harsh aspect, and even with this, so then we think about Mars and Uranus being involved, and then it becomes like, okay, Uranus is still going to be disruptive. So this is still the potential to be disruptive energy. And Mars is a co-ruler of the eighth house, which is sexual energy as well, which is Scorpio's house. And so this is like just really making sure that, you know, you're staying grounded and staying disciplined and staying focused. Because Saturn is teaching us all the collective Aquarius energy lessons. So it's like still like, okay, stay focused, financially as well. So making sure, again, if you're going to make any trades or do anything like that, that you're making sure that, yes, I set my limits properly. You double check it, because Mercury is retrograde. Don't make any big investments, or any commitments of anything like that. That's a general aspect for anybody during Mercury's retrograde. So, okay, Libra and Libra rising, Sun, Moon, and rising. This is happening in your ninth house. This is Sagittarius's house. So this is, you know, a good house for you. You're making a trine to the Aquarius energy, because Aquarius is another air sign. And the ninth house is Jupiter's house. So this is beliefs, of higher learning. This could be an opportunity to go back to school, think about it, reflect on it, or to learn something more, to travel abroad. And if you are going to travel abroad, again, giving yourself extra time, extra, double checking the itinerary, packing way in advance and double checking, because Mercury's retrograde and in an air sign. So it's like, if you're going to take air, giving yourself plenty of time, making sure you have everything. And then Mercury also rules day-to-day travel. So it's like, yeah, still giving yourself extra time to get to the airport and just relaxing. Like, this can't be anything where there's a stressful schedule, a lot of itinerary. It's like, go to learn, go to explore, Sagittarius, go to, encourage your beliefs, or learn something to encourage your beliefs, or, tap into your higher self, your higher consciousness, in a way that cultivates growth. Again, Saturn's involved, so we want growth, we want maturity. Jupiter's involved in what as well, so this does feel very spiritual for Libra, or at least exalting, like, ascending, like this higher elevation. And so this speaks to your belief systems, and this is going to be for, Saturn's going to be making this trine aspect, and Saturn and Jupiter are going to be making this aspect for a little while. So this is a great opportunity for Libra to explore. And Libra was really dealing with it last year with Aries, and really having to balance what they value for themselves, and where they find value within themselves, and saying no to other people, and really, like, not being people pleasers. Libras are known to people please. And so with Saturn, and Saturn is exalted in Libra, so with Saturn making this aspect, this is a really good time for you to learn how to balance, where when your gut says no, Libra, Libra is right before Scorpio, so you really start trying to work on that intuition and those gut feelings, that when your gut says no, you say no, instead of when somebody asks you to do something, or somebody asks you something that you don't want to do, and you're saying yes, okay, and the whole time you're shaking your head no. You're like, they're like, will you do it? And you're like, yes, and you don't really want to. So this is really about maturing in that, continuing to do that, and really finding your own beliefs, your own belief systems. Explore, even if you can't actually leave to explore, learn something that just offers you, opens up a new mindset or a new opportunity for you. I think that'll be really good energy. How to use this retrograde. This is also good to reflect on any old learning that you did, maybe tap back into that old, spirituality, maybe some old spirituality books or something like that, religious books or something. You may really like that. So that'll be good. Scorpio and Scorpio rising. This is happening in your 10th house. This is a work, image, reputation house. This is Capricorn's house. And Scorpio, this is a square for you guys. This energy that you're getting from Aquarius. Scorpio is another fixed sign. And so with this 10th house, this is really about what you're building. This is about the career that you're building, the reputation and the image that you're building. And I do think Scorpio is really finding their place in that, and really finding their place, I think, the lesson for Scorpio, because for me, Scorpio is the most intuitive and the most spiritually attuned sign of the zodiac. And so if it's, and it's so intense and it's so deep that this is can be difficult for Scorpio to deal with. And what Saturn, the blessing that Saturn wants to offer you, and then Jupiter also wants to kind of bring out of you, is this intuition, is this inner knowing, is this magic really that is inside of Scorpio that they try to keep hidden. They don't understand a lot of times because it can be so tense. It can also be so sexual and sexually driven and like passionate in that way, and even manipulating, and really have this need for power. But what Scorpio really needs to learn from this square and this tension is how to grow from that place of inner knowing and intuition, and that kind of deep and dark and even traumatic place that Scorpio knows so well, and how to really offer that to the collective and to humanity. I always tell Scorpio, don't keep your magic to yourself. Like, teach us those things, teach us that inner knowing, teach us that magic that you, in that intuition that you are not even sure of yourself, like tap into that and then share that with us. And I know that it's so hard, Scorpio, so I still even tell you guys, share it in a way that you are still able to keep your privacy that you need and keep your, mystery that you need, while still contributing to the collective and to humanity in a way that offers for us intuitive growth, spiritual growth, that magical. I always say when I see a lot of Scorpio placements or stronger Scorpio placements, I always call out as a witch vibes. And it's a beautiful thing. Like this is, magic. This is rituals. This is manifestation on a deep level. Like Scorpio in Scorpio energy, if it can't be in the 8th house, it will be in the 12th house, which is Pisces house, if I believe. And so this is really, this energy is saying reestablish, reflect on during this time of Mercury retrograde, how you're going to reestablish your career in a way that is fully demonstrates your goddess inner magic. And I say goddess knowing that there's plenty of Scorpio men, right? But this is still feminine energy, sexual energy, witch magic ritual energy that needs to be brought out. We need to see that part of you, Scorpio. You need to show us that in the 10th house is your image, your reputation. And if you do, I do think that you could build a business and you could grow humanity and help us grow and build in that sense. So I'm like, Scorpio's raising up the witches. and it's not, maybe it's prophetess, maybe it's, but it's something that's able to manifest using, ritual work and, witch work. I'm sorry, I come from the belief that a lot of the things that Jesus did, or for those people that believe those kind of things, that was magic, that was witchcraft in a sense. So not to take away from anybody's belief, because I think there's room for everybody in their beliefs. I do want you to know that Spirit gave me a little tickle in my throat as I was saying that. So I do expect that to be something that stirs up and I will grow from. I do have Scorpio placements. So I have Venus in Scorpio also. So that's funny. Venus making a square to my natal Venus as it leads into Aquarius, Scorpio. So this is, again, that energy about finding value in you growing and elevating in a professional way, an image way, with this I think over the next 2 years with the square from Saturn. So this is going to be good energy. Just show us your magic, Scorpio. Sagittarius and Sagittarius rising. This is happening in your 11th house of friends, friendships, social groups. This is Aquarius's house. So, and this Aquarius and Sagittarius get along just well. They sextile each other. And so this is your friends, your social groups. This is you really reflecting on your social groups, readjusting, re-engaging even, I think, Sagittarius, with your friend groups, your social groups, and offering them that hope, not just hope, but that knowledge, Sag. You're a very wise sign and you're getting a really strong Jupiter aspect here. So this is really sharing, Sagittarius is, a key word is I see. And I remember the first time I thought about that, I was like, what do you mean I see? Like, that's the eyes. But no, it's like I see like your pineal, your third eye, what some call your first eye, like seeing from that place, that higher self. Sagittarius is the 9th house of higher self, higher consciousness, higher religion, higher learning even. And so this is you showing up as those teachers within your friend groups and teaching and offering hope and for humanity. This is very Aquarius energy, offering an opportunity to speak into people's independence and even their revelation and their revolution. And I think Sag, it's like making sure they're being wise about it. Like they're not out here being rebels with no cause. Like in teaching your friend groups that Sag is a very wise sign. And so it's like making sure you're contributing to the collective. And the South Node is here, Sagittarius. And I know that that can make it difficult to actually share in the way. You may feel yourself with some doubt, maybe feeling like, no, I don't know enough. I don't deserve this, even dealing with some karma, or like thinking, no, I don't know. It's like, get over it. Just put your best foot forward. Just teach. Opportunities are going to come. Opportunities are going to be there for you. Jupiter's involved. You're definitely going to need to learn some discipline as a mutable sign. And Saturn making this sextile. So Saturn is not the biggest fan, or Sagittarius is not the biggest fan of Saturn. So it's like taking these blessings and definitely being disciplined, definitely being diligent, growing, becoming the taskmaster, and really contributing your gifts to humanity and the collective. You'll find a lot of opportunity here, but you got to get over yourself and you got to get disciplined, Sagittarius. That's one thing that Sag deals with, is the discipline. And with Jupiter involved, Sag can always overdo it, be reckless, and it's like, don't overextend yourself with your friend groups. Reflect right now and readjust to how you want to, again, associate with your friend groups, I think, when it's time. And even your disciplines, your distance in your, disciplines from people, your boundaries, even. Last but not least, Capricorn, or Capricorn rising. This is happening in your 12th house. This is the house of the subconscious, the undoing. This is hospitals, alone time, private places. This is the subconscious. It's also the house of endings. And so I think this is a really good time for Capricorn. If I was you, I would reflect on 2020 and everything that you learned there. And then with Pluto still in you all sign, there's still some changes that need to be made, some transformation that needs to happen. But this is really a time to reflect on it. This is a time you may find yourself needing to be alone, doing, reflecting alone, or just alone, and things coming to an endings. So allow that to happen. Reflect on the lessons that you've learned along the way, the opportunities that you've learned along the way. And really, I think 2020 was really tough for Capricorns. And you really were to spend the year reflecting on family, your loved ones, the people that were there for you, really from the beginning, that you could offer more to. This was a time for Capricorn to get out of their pride and their ego, of their image and their reputation, and get more into their roots, into their home, back to their family and their spiritual life even. And so it's really a good time, Capricorn, to reflect on that. As we, have now wrapped up your season, and, I think maybe you guys are feeling ready to really move forward. Well, while Mercury is retrograde and this energy is happening in the 12th house, reflect on really the lessons that you learned and how you want to take those lessons to the collective, and to humanity, and offer hopes and dreams for the people, and really building more on and with your tribe, versus so much as maybe, on and with business and money and image and bag. It's like, no, go ahead and find your tribe and settle in with them. And remember to continue to show love for those people that have been very supportive and loving to you, and have really been your foundation. I think that was a lesson for you guys for 2020. And that's what you really need to work on, or really still transforming, moving forward. And with this Mercury retrograde, really be reflective about, and make adjustments as needed. Again, no contracts, no anything like that. This is not the time for that with Mercury retrograde. So, okay, I think that is the end of everyone. So I hope that you like that. I do want to say, I'll take the screen off. I do want to say that, again, remember, Mercury retrograde is all about reflecting, rethinking, reorganizing, relaxing, resting. It's all about the RE. And so with all of this Aquarius energy, the best thing that we can do is maybe kick it with our tribe and reflect and rethink. Maybe, bounce ideas off of each other and get other input. What you don't want to do when Mercury is retrograde is, of course, sign any contracts, Any commitments is not going to be a good idea while Mercury is retrograde. So don't do that. Um, and you don't want to take anything personal. You don't want to take what people are saying to heart. You kind of want to think that you maybe misinterpreted what they said or it just came out wrong. But I also don't necessarily think you want to address anything, because a lot of times when Mercury is retrograde, specifically depending on how this is aspecting your moon or your Mercury or what house it's in, this may not be the best time to address issues one-on-one. So it's like, let it go, deal with it later on in February. I believe it's February 21st. I'm sorry, I'll put that down in the comments of when Mercury goes back direct. So it's only a couple weeks, and it's like, just deal with it later. Right now, just meditate on it. Just think about it. Think about, is this really even an issue? Is this going to be an adjustment to your friend groups? Is this, adjust how you interact with others and interact with your friend groups? Because Saturn is involved, so there's still some lessons. So when Mercury's retrograde, with this aspect with Saturn and the Sun and Jupiter and Venus showing up, this is like, okay, let me reflect and make the best of this. Like, I don't think it's going to be too stressful unless you're forceful. And so also communication, information, making sure you're checking your emails, double checking for typos. Even I know that's definitely something that I've already been seeing. I have all the small little typos that are so weird. So double checking for typos, making sure your emails got sent, your text messages got sent. There's a good time to make sure your tires are good on your car, specifically if you have Mercury aspects that aren't so strong. Giving yourself extra time, preparing in advance, reflecting on things and reviewing things. So again, reviewing contracts, reviewing old information. Just again, Mercury retrograde is about thinking about what you've been thinking about for the last 88 days. The universe gives us an opportunity to check our thoughts and to check information and to check what we're telling ourselves, what we're, feeding ourselves, as far as knowledge and information goes, and to reflect on that. And the universe does that because it's necessary. It's important to be like, whoa, wait a minute. What was that? What did you say? What was that information? Where did I that? And then reflect on that and then say, okay, I'm ready to move forward. I've refreshed my thoughts. So that's what this is all about. I hope this video helped. Let me know what you think about this new format. I think I like it. It felt good to do it this way. Felt like a reading. This is how I do my personal sessions. And of course, if you're looking for a personal session, a birth chart session, I believe suggested Taurus to get readings, because you guys are dealing with the difficulties of change, and Uranus is in your sign asking for it. But anybody, I love reading birth charts. I'll put the link in my bio to book a reading if that's something that you'd like to do. And just look for more coming from me. I'm super excited. All of this Aquarius energy is happening on my midheaven. And so I think this is really a good time to establish my real profession as an astrologer. And with Pisces in my 10th house as well, as an intuitive and a cosmic healer. And that's what I consider myself, an intuitive astrologer and a cosmic healer and a teacher. And so I hope you look forward to more of this. Let me know what you think. And thank you for your time. Till next time. Peace.